Welcome everybody. Today we are making this lovely card using the Pampered Pets stamp set and some of the Pampered Pet designer series paper. Then we are also using the saying from Timeless Tulips, and the saying is, "What a beautiful difference one single life makes." So that's how we're going to set up the card today. We're using DSP, designer series paper, for the background. We're using the nested label dies to create the front. And we have lots of options for creating the dog on the front of this. I've actually cut it out of the designer series paper using the die. The set's just called the Pet Dies. So that's how I've done that. You can, of course, also stamp it. The image is here. You could stamp it and use Stampin' Blends to color it in. But I liked the DSP on the front. I have also, because I've used Early Espresso as my card base, I have put some Whisper White inside, and I just stamped the dog dish in Smoky Slate there. I also stamped the envelope with the dog dish as well. So what do we need to make this card? We need a Early Espresso card base. We need a piece of DSP cut 5 1/4 by 4 to go over top. We need an envelope. We need a piece of Whisper White for the interior, and we need a piece of Whisper White for the label here and to stamp on that. And then we also need a piece of Real Red to go behind it. So let's get started putting this together. There's no right or wrong place to start with this. What I am going to do is I am going to adhere my designer series paper using my Stampin' Seal to the cardstock or card base. That just kind of gets it done and out of the way right out of the gate. So let's do that. And we'll just center it and drop it down. So that's done. Okay. So we've got a few different things to cut out here and a few different things to stamp. I'm just going to move the dies over so that we can work on the surface here. I am going to stamp the greeting. What a beautiful difference one single life makes. And I'm going to stamp it on one of my pieces of Whisper White towards the bottom, because we are going to be cutting it out. So I will just place that down like that. And while I've got the ink out, I can also stamp the dog dish on the bottom corner of the piece that's going inside, just like that, and also on the envelope, making sure that I've got the envelope the correct way up, and then just pop that on like that. So then we're actually completely finished with the ink. This card is mostly made with designer series paper. So I'll put the Smoky Slate ink aside. I'll put the envelope aside. And I can put this right inside the card right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop some Stampin' Seal on that. And then I'm going to put this the correct way up. And just like we were putting it on the outside, we center it up, drop it down, give it a squash. Okay. So now we need to cut out the front of the card. So I'm using 2 different sizes of the nested label dies, and I'm going to put this one on here, and I'm using my magnetic plate, and I've got new cutting mats, so they are very, very flat, which makes it great for putting the dies on because they stay put. So I'm just going to center that like that, and then I'm going to put this on here, making sure that I'm not missing anything, and then I'll just sandwich that up and I will run it through. And as usual, I'm putting the dies through on an angle so that the straight edge doesn't go against the rollers inside and make that make it really difficult to put it through. So we're just going to let that go through and take that off. We'll pop that layer out, and we'll pop this layer out as well. Put the die off to the side, and I just adhered this directly to the background. Again, just center it up, drop it down. Now I am going to cut out the dog on here, so I'll just bring it over here so you can see how I'm sandwiching it up. The die fits right over top of the dog just perfectly. You need to just wiggle it a little bit just to make sure that you've got everything even in there, and then you just put it in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss and run it through. And there you go. I'll take that out. Oops, sorry, making lots of noise here today. And we'll take that out. And I did dimensionalize this just so the dog just pops. And then I just centered him over the greeting like that, and I dimensionalized the back of this. Just popped 4 on there like that. And peel the backing off, and then we can adhere it to the front of the card, and it is just that simple. So we're just going to make sure we're even, and then we're going to drop it down. So there you go. It's a great card for people who are getting a new dog or just want to celebrate the companionship that a dog can bring. So again, we used the Playful Pets Designer Series paper. We used an early espresso card base. We used Real Red for the border and Whisper White here. And used the What a Beautiful Difference One Single Life Makes from the Timeless Tulip set. If there is anything you'd like to purchase from this video, please use the links below, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.